Hi guys, this is Mr. Richard. So in this video, we are going to work with functions, right? We are still on Mathematics Paper 1, November 2020, Eastern Cape, right? If you are new to this channel, what are you waiting for? Let's grow the channel. Let's subscribe. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you. Let's keep winning, right? We are at question 5, grade 11. Given that f of x is equals to negative x squared plus 6 plus 7, right, we're given there how many marks? 3 marks. We are required to determine the coordinates of turning point of f. Right. Okay, to determine the coordinate of f, remember that we're working with question 5. So we're at question 5, 5.1. Determine the coordinates of the turning point of f, right? So determine the coordinate of f there. Remember that f we are given as f of x is equals to negative x squared plus 6x plus 7. So there are many ways you can find the turning point of f of a quadratic equation or a quadratic function. It's either you can calculate the x-intercept and you will then add them and divide by 2 to get the x turning point of f, right? So, but to make things simpler, we are going to use this formula, negative b all over 2a, right? So what is your b there? Your b, it's 6, positive 6. When you put it here, it will be negative 6 divided by 2. Okay, put a, it's negative 1. So what are we going to get here? We are going to have negative 6, 2 times negative 1. That will be negative 2. How many times does 2 goes into 6? It goes 3 times. So in other words, x is going to be 3. So okay, substitute 3 to where there is x to the original equation. Put 3 there. Negative 3 squared, negative 3, okay, 3 squared there. Negative 3 squared plus 6 times 3 plus 7, what will be that? That's 16. So we are going to take 3 and substitute here. So we are going to have 16. So our turning point will be 3 and 16. So you have to show that step so that you get 3 marks, right? Okay. We go to 5.2. Okay. At 5.2, we are required to get the x turning point of f, right? Okay, so let's put that into practice, the x turning point of f. So for x-intercept, you let y be 0, meaning that where there is f of x, we shall place 0. So we're having x squared plus 6x plus 7. So we can divide everything by negative 1 so that we are able to solve x. Right, when you divide by negative 1, it remains 0. Divide by negative 1, remains as x squared. Divide by negative 1, remains as x, negative 6. And divide by negative 1, it remains as negative 7. So let's factorize. So the factors here will be x and x. So factors of 7, it's going to be 7 and 1. Remember, the last sign, if it's negative, we're going to have different signs. So it's going to be negative 7 and plus 1 here, because negative 7 plus 1 is negative 6. Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. Definitely they're 100% correct. So when you place transpose 7 to the other side, it becomes positive. Transpose 1, it becomes negative 1. So the x-intercept will be 7 and 0 and negative 1 and 0. To find the y-intercept, you will place 0 here. So maybe your y-intercept will be 0 and 7 when you place 0 here, because 0 squared is 0, 6 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 7 is 7. So we're going to have 0 and 7. So let's go to 5.3. We need to draw a neat sketch of f, clearly indicate all the x-intercepts with x's and the turning point. How many marks is that? That is 4 marks. So let's put this into practice. 5.3. So what are we going to have? Okay, remember this is our negative 1 and we're having 7 there. Don't forget your turning point. Okay, your turning point is also 0 and 7 here. Your I mean, this is a y-intercept. Your turning point will be 3 and 16. It shall be somewhere here. So, okay, we are having this, something like this. It's a third phase, actually. It will be a third phase. So for that, it should be somewhere here. Okay, that's 3 and 16. Here it's 7 and 0. And negative 1 and 0. So yours will be clearly, so you'll draw it neatly, neat, you draw it neat. So mine yeah, but this is how it should be. It will be a third phase, right? Okay, then we go to 5.4. They said write down the equation of the axis of symmetry of F. The axis of symmetry cuts the graph into two equal parts. Actually, the axis of symmetry, it is the x turning point of this graph. So in this case, we are going to write as 5.4 will be x is equals to 3. Remember, they are talking about the x turning point, which will be a symmetry, just symmetrical. It cuts the graph into two equal parts, right? So that's how you are going to work with 5.4. So now let's go to 5.5. Determine the average gradient of f between x is equals to negative 3 and 1. Okay, so to make things easier in this manner, what we could do there at 5.5, we could say, remember that we have x as negative 3 and x as 1. They want us to find the average gradient. What an easiest way will be take this x value and substitute to the original equation. Where there is x, we shall place negative 3. So let's see. Use your calculator there. So if you place negative 3 squared plus 6 negative 3 plus 7, that will be negative 20. In other words, negative 3 goes with negative 20. So let's place 1 then. If you place 1, negative 1 squared plus 6, 1, okay, place 1 plus 7 there, that will be 12. So we're going to have 1 and 12, okay, 1 and 12. 1 and 12, this is x of 1, and this is x of 2, y of 1, and y of 2. So the average gradient will be 12 subtracted by negative 20, and 1 subtracted by negative 3. So what is 12 subtracted by negative 20? It's 32. 32 divided by 4. Yes, 32 divided by 4. Definitely that will give you 8. So m average is equals to 8, right? So we are going to our last question. Right, so write it in the next page. All right. What does our last question entails? It says that the graph of f is shifted 4 units to the left and reflected in the x-axis to form h. Write down the equation of h in the form of, yes, in a turning point form. So in other words, we have to complete the square. You have to complete the square of this, completing the square, this equation. So let's put this into practice so that we get 16 marks fully. Right. As for 5.6, remember that they said that the graph of f is shifted 4 units to the left and reflected in the x-axis to form h. And we are given this graph, which is f of x, which is equals to negative x squared plus 6x plus 7. So we will complete the square, guys. When you complete the square, you halve the middle term. You halve the middle term and square it. When we have 6 and square it, we are going to have 3, and we are going to add and subtract. That's the rule. So in this case, we are going to have negative. So when you complete this, it's going to be negative x minus 3 squared plus 16. How did I came up with this? Remember, I told you that when you complete the square, you halve the middle term. When you halve the middle term, it's going to be 6 times half, which is 6. Half of 6 is 3, and 3 is squared. And when you, 3 squared, it's going to be 9. Then you add and subtract. So how did we came up with 16? We came up with 16 when you say 7 plus 9. So we'll then factor out, right? We'll then complete the square. So we are not done. Remember that we need to write this in terms of h. So they said it is shifted 4 units. So, okay, it is shifted. Okay, it's going to be x minus 3 there, plus 4, okay, squared, plus 16. And they told us that it is reflected in the x-axis. When it is reflection in the x-axis, what happens when you reflect about x-axis, your y value becomes negative. Your y value becomes what? It becomes negative. So in this case, we are going to put let us write it in this manner. Okay, x minus 3 plus 4 squared plus 16. So when we divide by negative, we are going to have positive. So I just let h be y, right? It's fine. So when we divide everything here, we are going to have x minus 3, okay, squared, sorry for that, plus 4 here, squared, minus 16, right? It affects everything here. So negative 3 plus 4, that's going to be x plus 1 squared minus 16. So this is the graph of h that is formed by f when it is shifted 4 units to the left. When it's left, you add. When it's right, you subtract, right? Reflection about x-axis, your y value becomes negative. Reflection about y-axis, your x value becomes negative. Reflection about the line y equals to x, you swap the coordinate. Hope you find this video useful, and don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. We love you.